Hey guys, welcome to another recent viewing video, and the trilogy has finally been completed. Last night I watched Jurassic Park 3, the final of the original Jurassic Park trilogy, so that I could be refreshed on those movies that I loved so much from yesteryear before I go into watching Jurassic World, probably on Wednesday. This is Monday as I'm filming this. And I want to sit down and do this video here before any more time passes, because my memory on specific things in these movies fades pretty quick within a week or two. I'm kind of like, what? So anyway, as I mentioned in the Lost World Jurassic Park video that I did, I'm a big fan of all three of the original trilogy movies. I know that the first movie was the classic, the iconic movie that still I would hold, within my top favorite movies of all time. But unlike a lot of people who want to forget about the second and third movies, I enjoy both of them. And I enjoyed the third movie. Now, watching it again here now, after a couple months ago watching these videos on a YouTube channel called Cinema Sins, which is a really awesome channel if you like really intriguing angles and looks at movies, as opposed to just, hey, here's a movie or whatever. One of the things that they do on there are called Everything Wrong with Such and Such Movie in So Many Minutes or Less. And they did Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 videos that I watched. And they'll make you think about things. They don't always necessarily mean, hey, this movie is shit and we're going to make fun of it. Sometimes they will look at movies that are rather popular, and they'll just give you, like I said, a new view on things in the movie you may have overlooked. So I went into the movie last night remembering some of the things that they covered in that video. And yes, they were there. Yes, there is pretty ridiculous stuff that goes on in that movie. There's some timeline things. There's some kind of just implausible scenarios. How does a kid who is, I don't know if he was supposed to be like 12 or 13, but how does a kid that age survive on an island full of dinosaurs for 8 weeks? How does the Navy and the Marines make it to this island in some short period of time between when Dr. Grant gets on the phone and calls Dr. Sadler, and then they show up on the island to rescue them? Yeah, there's some stuff like that, but all in all, I don't really care. I can forgive those sins because it was, in my opinion, another fun little romp through Dinosaur World. And much like the second movie, it was awesome to have Dr. Grant back and Sadler for a brief moment of time. But it was mainly the Dr. Grant show. And I loved the core group from the first movie, which was Grant, Sadler, Ian Malcolm, and the kids, and John Hammond to an extent. And he did show up as having a cameo role in the second movie. I would have loved if there would have been a Jurassic Park movie that would have had Dr. Grant and Ian Malcolm back together. But alas, we'll never see that come to pass. But in this movie, Dr. Grant goes to the same island from the second movie. I loved how they pointed it out in the movie that he had nothing to do with this second island, but people wanted him for the plot of the movie. This couple hires him for what he thinks is going to be a guide to show them the dinosaurs as they fly over the island. But it actually turns out that it's the parents of the boy who survives for 8 weeks on this island who got him, and because they wanted his expertise. Maybe the one plot thing that I thought was a little weird was why they didn't just say, hey, my son's on this island, you know about dinosaurs, please help us. But they had to be like, oh, we're tourists and we want a good show, and money isn't an object, even though they had no money to really spend. But we had Dr. Grant back on a dinosaur island with a protege of his who foolishly makes a big mistake and grabs some raptor eggs. They tried to add some more depth and element to the raptor behavior, things that they hadn't really covered in the first movie. They had some new dinosaurs. I can't remember the name of the one with the spine on its back that pursues them for most of the movie, but they made that dinosaur out to be a real prick, like constantly after them for no reason. Even if it had killed a T-Rex and had food, it wanted to pursue the humans. It was just kind of funny. And it was a shorter movie at an hour and a half. The other two movies went over 2 hours. So it was a little snappier experience. But like I said, I still enjoyed it. I loved having Dr. Grant. You got pterodactyls. You got... they decided to throw in some extreme sports stuff with that younger guy I mentioned, the protege or whatever. And I don't know, and I wanted to make sure I mention, for those who do throw a big fit about the kid who survives for 8 weeks on Dinosaur Island, where so many people had died and had bad experiences. Why don't you people go after a movie like Jumanji, where a boy goes into that jungle in that book and lives there for 20, 30, 40 years of his life? I mean, like, really. I don't think it was 40 years, but anyway, it's the same kind of point. Like, nobody said, oh, well, that's totally ridiculous. So, you know what? Jurassic Park 3 is a guilty pleasure that I don't mind admitting to. And now that I've seen those two, the second and third movies, now it'll be interesting to go into Jurassic World and see how they deal with those or don't deal with them, as I've heard. But yeah, Jurassic Park 3, I don't understand the hate. I understand the nitpicks. I understand the complaints about crazy plot holes and leaps of logic and whatnot, but I don't understand the hate. It's just a fun little movie, Just watch it and enjoy it for what it is. So anyway, that's all I have to say for that. I got pizza in the oven. I don't want it to get burnt, so I'll see you guys next time.